Hello, hello, hello. So, the 10 most important factors. You see, I've just been learning some Jewish mysticism, and the stuff is so deep, it just makes me realize that everything we know is nothing. Absolutely nothing. I remember, I think it was Isaac Bashevis Singer, forgive me if I'm wrong, but he wrote a book, All of Science, and it was like, this is it. It's all you got to know. It was like 3 books. It was pretty impressive. But now we know that like every single field of science, you could write 100 books on. In other words, we know now that there is no way we're ever going to know all the information. In fact, it goes so deep. I heard this from a guy with 3 doctorates. You know what that means to get 3 doctorates? He supervises all the studies in the universities of Switzerland. His board sent him around the world. He told me he was the highest paid student in the world to hear all the latest research. When he got back, he gave a lecture on the limit of human intelligence, because we've discovered in every field what's called E, that we actually don't understand what's going on. For example, atoms pop in and out of existence. We have no idea how that is physically possible. And DNA replicates itself. We have no idea how that is physically possible. That's like a 5,000 book dictionary. Just imagine one book. And the book kind of zips itself in half, and the 2 halves randomly pull together letters exactly matching the other half. It's not physically possible. They're all infinite miracles. And the reason I say this is so what happens when you know that you can't know is then the next question is, what is worth knowing? Because for a long time we've approached science with the kind of just like a child. It's like, oh, I just want to be a big person already. We approached it wide-eyed, like, oh, wow, I just want the information. Well, now that you know that the information is impossible to know, the next question is, what is worth knowing? And to me, there is really only one thing that is worth knowing, only one. And in this one thing, everything that is worth knowing is contained. And really remarkably, the Lubavitch Rebbe spent the last 4 years, the highest teachings that he ever taught. I mean, it's all over Chassidus, but every single talk, every single thing that he said was the same thing, just in different words. And that is, in simple words, that, God made us, and one of the things he wants from us is to make the good choices, just like a parent makes a child, and you want your child to make good choices. But obviously, as a parent, you have a much better idea of what those choices should be. God being an infinite parent, no matter how smart you are, again, it's nothing. So the choices that he can guide you on are infinitely better than the choices than you can figure out. And so, sort of like Mark Twain said, when I was, 18, I thought my dad knew nothing. Then when I was 22, I was amazed how much the old man learned in 4 years. In other words, it takes a moment in time where you realize that God knows what he's talking about, where you seek God. And then God actually, as you go to God, so God comes back to you. It's a reflection. It's almost like a relationship. As the male kind of acts towards the female acts towards the male, and perhaps vice versa as well. So in other words, if one of the partners was infinite, so now you have an infinite being that is guiding you, and ultimately these 2 realities don't kind of contradict each other, even though you would say, let's say if I'm a peasant and there's a king, so I'd have to subsume my identity to the king. But if it's a parent, it's al goizolo v'irachiv. He's always like hovering. He's always like giving you your space to be you. So God is always giving you your space, but at the same time, he's always going to be part of your infinite destiny.